Hey y'all, I hope you're having a great week. I've been wondering about a passage of scripture that we probably all know pretty well if we've been in this Christian journey for a little bit. But it's a passage of scripture that's been really resonating with me lately. So we read in Luke chapter 23, verse 34, something really interesting that Jesus says. And this is what Jesus says when he's on the cross. So he's been nailed to the cross. He's had, all these accusations thrown on him. He's been beaten. He's been tortured. And now he's got an audience. People upset that he's hanging on the cross and people excited that he's finally getting the justice they think he deserves. And while hanging on this cross, he says something that is really odd to me. And this is what he says in verse 34. And Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." And they cast lots to divide his garments. I find this interesting because I think it points out something. We can see after Jesus says this, they're still going along with what they're planning on doing. You read of the guards, casting lots to figure out what to do with his garments. And this verse has been resonating with me because so often we'll read it. And we'll say, the Pharisees and the Jews at that time who put Jesus on the cross didn't see it. They couldn't see it. Jesus was asking for them to be forgiven because they didn't know any better. And I guess I've been sitting because I've been wondering, what if sometimes this same verse where Jesus is saying, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." What if he's saying that to us as a church, as followers of Christ? What if at different times when we do something that's unloving, goes against what Jesus called us to do here and now? What if Jesus again and again is showing up in our lives and we're nailing him back to a cross? We're boxing him up and putting him away. And he's saying, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." And I think looking at the verse like this, it's really interesting. And for me, it's been a bit eye-opening. Thinking the times that Jesus might be asking me to do something for my family or for the church or for a friend or, whatever the circumstance might be. And for whatever reason, sometimes we might not want to do it, or I might not want to do it. So I box him up. I put Jesus back on that cross. No, I don't want to do that. And Jesus is saying to me, "Father, forgive him. He doesn't know what he's doing." Because we're all in need of forgiveness, no matter how much we think we get it. No matter how much we think we might know about everything, we're all in need of forgiveness. There's going to be times in all of our life where we do the wrong thing, where we do something in the name of God that's not in the name of God. And in those moments, we got to remember that Jesus is there saying, "Father, forgive them. They know not what they do." And I think looking at this verse in this way helps us be a bit more humble. Allows us to lean in to God more, to figure out what God might be calling us to do. And to have humility with the things that we do. And I think that can bring a lot of change in our personal life. So I want to encourage you this week to read that passage for yourself in Luke chapter 23, verse 34. And read the whole story of it. And then imagine that you're there. And think of the times that we might do something in the name of God, or maybe not even the name of God. We're doing something that we think is right, but it's not. Jesus is trying to show us something new, and instead of stepping into the new, we put him back on the cross. And he says, "Father, forgive them. They know not what they do." And see what God might be showing us if we're willing and vulnerable enough to sit at this place. To sit with passages like this. And really figure out what God might be calling us to do in our here and now. And the times we might have got it wrong. May God's grace and peace be with you.